Chapter 3, Cannery Row. Lee Chong's is to the right of the vacant lot. Although why it's called vacant when it's piled high with old boilers, with rusting pipes, with great square timbers and stacks of 5-gallon cans, no one can say. Up in the back of the vacant lot is the railroad track and the palace flop house. But on the left-hand boundary of the lot is the stern and stately whorehouse of Dora Flood. A decent, clean, honest, old-fashioned sporting house where a man can take a glass of beer among friends. This is no fly-by-night cheap clip joint, but a sturdy, virtuous club, built, maintained, and disciplined by Dora, who, madam and girl for 50 years, has through the exercise of special gifts of tact and honesty, charity, and a certain realism, made herself respected by the intelligent, the learned, and the kind. And by the same token, she is hated by the twisted and lascivious sisterhood of married spinsters whose husbands respect the home but don't like it very much. Dora is a great woman, a great big woman with flaming orange hair and a taste for Nile green evening dresses. She keeps an honest, one-price house, sells no hard liquor, and permits no loud or vulgar talk in her house. Of her girls, some are fairly inactive due to age and infirmities, but Dora never puts them aside, although, as she says, some of them don't turn 3 tricks a month, but they go right on eating 3 meals a day. In a moment of local love, Dora named her place the Bear Flag Restaurant, and the stories are many of people who have gone in for a sandwich. There are normally 12 girls in the house, counting the old ones, a Greek cook, and a man who is known as a watchman, but who undertakes all manners of delicate and dangerous tasks. He stops fights, ejects drunks, soothes hysteria, cures headaches, and tends bar. He bandages cuts and bruises, passes the time of day with cops, and since a good half of the girls are Christian Scientists, reads aloud his share of Science and Health on a Sunday morning. His predecessor, being a less well-balanced man, came to an evil end, as shall be reported. But Alfred has triumphed over his environment and has brought his environment up with him. He knows what men should be there and what men shouldn't be there. He knows more about the home life of Monterey citizens than anyone in the town. As for Dora, she leads a ticklish existence. Being against the law, at least against its letter, she must be twice as law-abiding as anyone else. There must be no drunks, no fighting, no vulgarity, or they close Dora up. Also, being illegal, Dora must be especially philanthropic. Everyone puts the bite on her. If the police give a dance for their pension fund, and everyone else gives $1, Dora has to give $50. When the Chamber of Commerce improved its gardens, the merchants each gave $5, but Dora was asked for and gave $100. With everyone else, it is the same. Red Cross, Community Chest, Boy Scouts. Dora's unsung, unpublicized, shameless, dirty wages of sin lead the list of donations. But during the Depression, she was hardest hit. In addition to the usual charities, Dora saw the hungry children of Cannery Row, and the jobless fathers, and the worried women, and Dora paid grocery bills right and left for 2 years and nearly went broke in the process. Dora's girls are well-trained and pleasant. They never speak to a man on the street, although he may have been in the night before. Before Alfie, the present watchman, took over, there was a tragedy in the Bear Flag Restaurant which saddened everyone. The previous watchman was named William, and he was a dark and lonesome-looking man. In the daytime, when his duties were few, he would grow tired of female company. Through the windows he would see Mac and the boys sitting on the pipes in the vacant lot, dangling their feet in the mallow weeds and taking the sun while they discoursed slowly and philosophically of matters of interest but of no importance. Now and then as he watched them he saw them take out a pint of old tennis shoe, and wiping the neck of the bottle on his sleeve, raise the pint one after another. And William began to wish he could join the good group. He walked out one day and sat on the pipe, conversation stopped, and an uneasy and hostile silence fell on the group. After a while, William went disconsolately back to the Bear Flag, and through the window he saw the conversation spring up again, and it saddened him. He had a dark and ugly face, and a mouth twisted with brooding. The next day he went again, and this time he took a pint of whiskey. Mac and the boys drank the whiskey. After all, they weren't crazy, but all the talking they did was good luck and looking at you. After a while, William went back to the Bear Flag, and he watched them through the window, and he heard Mac raise his voice, saying, "But God damn it, I hate a pimp." Now, this was obviously untrue, although William didn't know that. Mac and the boys just didn't like William. Now, William's heart broke. The bums would not receive him socially. They felt that he was too far beneath them. William had always been introspective and self-accusing. He put on his hat and walked out along the sea, clear out to the lighthouse, and he stood in the pretty little cemetery where you can hear the waves drumming always. William thought dark and broody thoughts. No one loved him. No one cared about him. They might call him a watchman, but he was a pimp, a dirty pimp, the lowest thing in the world. And then he thought how he had a right to live and be happy just like anyone else. By God, he had. He walked back angrily, but his anger went away when he came to the Bear Flag and climbed the steps. It was the evening, and the jukebox was playing Harvest Moon, and William remembered that the first hooker he ever gaffed for him used to like the song before she ran away and got married and disappeared. The song made him awfully sad. Dora was in the back parlor having a cup of tea when William came in. She said, "What's the matter? You sick?" "No," said William. "But what's the percentage? I feel lousy. I think I'll bump myself off." Dora had handled plenty of neurotics in her time. "Kid 'em out of it" was her motto. "Well, do it on your own time and don't mess up the rugs," she said. A gray, damp cloud folded over William's heart, and he walked slowly out and down the hall and knocked on Eva Flanagan's door. She had red hair and went to confession every week. Eva was quite a spiritual girl with a big family of brothers and sisters, but she was an unpredictable drunk. She was painting her nails and messing them pretty badly when William went in, and he knew she was bagged, and Dora wouldn't let a bagged girl work. Her fingers were nail polished to the first joint, and she was angry. "What's eating you?" she said. William grew angry too. "I'm going to bump myself off," he said fiercely. Eva screeched at him. "That's a dirty, lousy, stinking sin," she cried. And then, "Wouldn't it be like you to get the joint pinched just when I got almost enough kick to take a trip to East St. Louis? You're a no-good bastard." She was still screaming at him when William shut her door after him and went to the kitchen. He was very tired of women. The Greek would be restful after women. The Greek, big apron, sleeves rolled up, was frying pork chops in 2 big skillets, turning them over with an ice pick. "Hello, kids. How's it going?" The pork chops hissed and swished in the pan. "I don't know, Lou," said William. "Sometimes I think the best thing to do would be—" Cluck! He drew a finger across his throat. The Greek laid the ice pick on the stove and rolled his sleeves higher. "I tell you what I hear, kids," he said. "I hear, like the fella talks about it, don't ever do it." William's hand went over the ice pick, and he held it easily in his hand. His eyes looked deeply into the Greek's dark eyes, and he saw disbelief and amusement. And then as he stared, the Greek's eyes grew troubled and then worried. And William saw the change. Saw first how the Greek knew he could do it, and then the Greek knew he would do it. As soon as he saw that in the Greek's eyes, William knew he had to do it. He was sad because now it seemed silly. His hand rose and the ice pick snapped into his heart. It was amazing how easily it went in. William was a watchman before Alfred came. Everyone liked Alfred. He could sit on the pipes with Mac and the boys any time. He could even visit up at the Palace Flop House.